This series is called Adventure DIY, and we're embracing the spirit that things can go wrong. Now, two of the biggest things we worry about if we're out on a trail ride are dropping our bikes or drowning them. So we're going to discuss what to do if either of these happens to you. Now, crossing rivers and puddles is a hell of a lot of fun, and up here in the Himalayas, it's always something you're going to have to do. It also has a big risk associated with it. Motorcycles don't like drinking water. So if you get water in your engine, here's how to deal with it. First up, you can check the oil window. If the level in the window is significantly higher than usual, that quite often means that water has got into the bottom of the engine and the oil is now sat on top of the water. If the engine's been run in any way with water in the oil turns to a sort of milky tea colour, and it's really obvious when you look in the sight glass. The other tell is if the air intake of the bike has gone under the surface. The air intake on the Himalayan is set really high, but if you drop it on its side and that goes underwater, then you've almost certainly got water in the airbox. In this case, that engine can't be started until it's been looked at in a workshop. Electrics. Now, electrics run mostly on wires and connections, not on black magic and witchcraft as some people would have you believe. If your bike does develop an electrical fault, do a physical inspection of the wires and connectors before you bother with anything else. To get to the fuse box and the battery, we first remove the pillion seat and then the rider's seat. With the rider's seat off, you can get to the battery and check the terminals to make sure they're tight. Behind the battery is the fuse box. Pop the lid open and you can use the fuse puller in the toolkit to check the fuses one by one to see if they're blown. If the fuse is blown, there'll be a break in the join between the two terminals. Now, nobody likes dropping their bike, but luckily these Himalayans are built tough. Now, if your bike does go down, it's worth checking it over for damage before you ride away. Now, the main culprits for damage are the sticky out bits, like the levers and the foot controls. Now, if you do drop a Himalayan hard enough that you break a lever, these levers are designed to snap off, leaving enough spare lever on the bike that you can ride the thing home. If that happens, put a bit of duct tape over the sharp end so it doesn't rip your gloves, and get yourself down to the next town where you can get a new lever fitted. Moving down to the foot controls, on this side we've got the brake lever and obviously the gear lever the other side. Make sure they're straight, you can still access them with your foot and they're not fouling on any part of the engine or frame. If either of these levers is slightly bent, only a few centimetres out of place, it's perfectly safe to tweak it back to its normal position. If they're bent back around the foot peg, there's a risk they're going to snap. So if your bike goes down, make those basic checks before you ride away. The principle is this: you need all of your controls to work properly if you're going to ride the bike safely. It's better to find that out here than get to the next hairpin at the bottom of a steep hill and realise that your front brake lever is back up at the top. So there we are. Shit happens, you can't do anything about it. Be prepared to deal with it with a smile, and it's a fantastic story when you get back home.